Hi, my name is Alison David, and I'm one of the matchmakers here with Midwest Matchmaking. And today I'm going to be going over the top 5 misconceptions about working with a matchmaker. When we tell people what we do here, I think people have a very set idea about what it is, first of all, that we do and do not do as matchmakers. And then even kind of getting down to the kind of people that we work with, the people who choose to work with us, that kind of thing. And this is all kind of goes back to a conversation that I had over the weekend where it's telling someone what I did for a living. And this was a gentleman who had recently been single, and he said, well, oh yes, I've heard of you guys, but I didn't need to use your services because I don't have any problems getting dates. And so there is misconception number 1 that the people who work with a matchmaker, the people who choose to call us up here at Midwest Matchmaking, that they can't get a date on their own. And that's simply not true. We work with people from all different walks of life. So there's people that we work with who are in their early 20s and they've never dated and have no experience within the dating realm, to people in their 40s, 50s who have been divorced, even up into people, in their 70s. Our oldest client that we've worked with recently was 80 years old. And at that point they've lost their spouse, and they were married for 50 years and they're not sure where to meet people. So we work with people who are just really the biggest reason they're not exposed to the kind of people that they're looking for in their daily lives. One of the biggest demographics that we work with are women who are nurses or teachers. Those are both 2 business fields that are extremely dominated by women. So there's not a lot of men, there's not a lot of options there. And even if, they did have options there, they probably wouldn't want to date at work. A lot of people don't necessarily want to do that. So it's people whose options are limited to find the kind of people that they meet on their own. Our clients are busy and they're selective about who they're wanting to meet. They're not wanting to date just for the sake of going on dates necessarily. And yes, we do work with some people who aren't having much success dating on their own, and that's okay. That's not a bad thing. There's a lot of different reasons why people aren't getting dates, and I've talked to people who are seemingly catches all around and they're doing the online or the apps and they're just like, yeah, I do a lot of talking, messaging back and forth, but it's not leading to dates. We work with people who want to go on dates, and that's kind of the bottom line, is that people who want to make the most of their time and that kind of thing are going to seek out a matchmaker because they're attracted to what we offer as far as ease and convenience and availability. So number 2 is that working with a matchmaker is something that is really expensive. One of those luxury items that you can only do if you have a lot of money to throw around. And that's not true, at least for Midwest Matchmaking. We work in the Midwest. So, there are places like LA, New York, Chicago, the big cities in the country where matchmakers are a dime a dozen, and they cost, upwards of $10,000, $15,000 to work with someone like that. I've heard of one that even charges up to $50,000 to work with them. And that is very expensive, and that is absolutely not what we do here. We make matchmaking affordable to anyone by offering 3 different levels of service. So if you are single, if you're stable, and you are really just looking to meet a long-term partner and you don't like the online opportunities available to you, you're a really good candidate for matchmaking, even if you might think you may not be able to afford it, or it's, you're not in the income bracket to do something like this. We recently have put out a graphic too that kind of even broke down if you're hiring a matchmaker versus doing the online route. And it was actually really interesting. This is something that was researched, and they valued your time. It goes into, setting up dates, vetting the people, all that stuff, and the time saved by working with us, the money spent on going on dates, all that stuff. And it really worked out that actually working with a matchmaker is much more affordable. So that's something that we'll share here in the comments, that if you missed it the first time around, we'll get that out there for people to see it again. The 3rd misconception is another one that I hear a lot, and people kind of say, well, I bet you work with a lot more women than you do men. And that's not true as well. We actually monitor our numbers to make sure that we keep everything very even. There's actually some demographics that we work with that are more men than women, to the point where we have to say, okay, we're not signing up men in this age range right now because we need to make sure that we even out the numbers. And once they get more even, then it's okay, and we'll start signing up men again. But that's not true. I think people maybe think that because it seems like, maybe because it's all women that we work here, but we do now have the male dating coach on our team now too. So maybe that'll bust that myth a little bit more. But it's pretty equal. And if there was going to be one gender that sought us out more than the other, it more likely would be men, to be honest. Number 4, this is our insider tip that, you know, that may not be totally obvious to people on the outside who don't work in the dating industry. But anyone who is a matchmaker will say that this is absolutely like one of the misconceptions that they have working with clients. And that is that when you're paying to work with a matchmaker, that means that you can ask for things in a partner that you're not necessarily bringing to the table yourself. So what I mean there is that we'll have people who are making, you know, X amount of dollars per year as their annual income, and they'll tell me they are wanting someone who makes twice as much as them. Or the other one would be, you know, someone who, if they're active, they're taking reasonable care of themselves, making the effort to get in better shape, things like that, but they want someone who is already in fantastic shape. You know, it's one of those things where you have to kind of do a little reflection and think, you know, if I'm asking for this, am I also bringing that to the table? And just, it's not like Build-A-Bear. You can't build your perfect partner. That's not what we do here. We don't have magic wands where we can make this easy peasy and give you exactly what you're looking for, because in reality, what most people are looking for probably aren't what they need. So just a little food for that on that one. If you're thinking about coming to a matchmaker and that's what you think that you're going to be signing up for if you do work with us, that one's not really what we do. And then the very last one, number 5, is that, you know, that it's going to be fun and easy like it is on a TV show. And there's a little bit of truth to that one, in that we do make the dating process a lot easier for you. You know, we're the one vetting people, we're setting up the dates, we do a lot of the legwork in terms of saving you time and going on the dates, but you're still the one who has to go on the dates. We can't do that for you, unfortunately, yet. So you're the one who's going to have to put yourself out there. You're going to have to make yourself emotionally available and vulnerable and kind of go through and do the work that goes along with dating. And I think some people come to us a little bit unprepared for everything that goes into that, and they can get overwhelmed, they can get burned out. There's a lot of different things that people go through emotionally when they're doing something like working with a matchmaker. But what's really cool is that even if we'll have some people who, you know, 6 months into it, they still haven't found the right person, things like that. They're like, but I really feel like I've learned a lot from you guys, and I've grown a lot in terms of knowing more of what I want and what I need, those kinds of things. The people who really engage with us, give us really great feedback, and are really part of the process and communicate clearly with us, those are going to be the ones that are the most successful. So it's not just super easy work. You know, you can come up and we can just set you up on dates and we can do that, but it may not be the most successful way to use a matchmaker. So those are my top 5 myths for you. So just to recap those, top 5 myths of working with a matchmaker. Number 1 being that people who work with a matchmaker can't get dates on their own. Number 2 is that it's super expensive. It's not. We make it affordable to anyone. Number 3 being that we work with more women than men. And 4 is that they can date outside of their league. And 5 is that it's super fun and easy. So there you go, guys. If you have any questions about matchmaking beyond what I've covered here, we would love to answer any questions there. You can shoot up in the comments, you can message us, you can email us at info@midwestmatchmaking.com, or you can give us a call. You can also visit our website, and if you just want to learn a little bit more about how we work, you can submit your information. We'll contact you to set up a complimentary consultation. Midwest Matchmaking is headquartered here in Omaha, Nebraska, but we also serve singles throughout the entire Midwest region. So we are currently looking for clients in the, you know, Sioux Falls, Sioux City, Des Moines. We've got a couple over in the Quad Cities area, Kansas City, and then I think even kind of moving into Western Nebraska, North Platte, Grand Island, that kind of thing. So if you're within 3 to 4 hours, some cases even 4 or 5 hours from Omaha, Nebraska, and you're interested in dating and learning more about us, give us a call and we'd be happy to chat with you and see if you'd be a good fit to work with us. So thanks for watching and have a wonderful afternoon.